Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Balconia Garden podcast. Happy New Year. It is now officially 2025. It's January the 1st. I don't know where 2024 went, but here we are. I hope nobody's suffering from the night before. So yes, welcome to the podcast. This is where we talk about all things container gardening, both indoor and outdoor. And you can find tips and tricks for growing a flourishing container garden, regardless of its size, shape, or the space you have. This is episode 1 of the podcast. There's a bit of a story to why I am now doing podcasts. I actually have a YouTube channel, and there is a video explaining why I'm now doing podcasts rather than videos. I will link it down in the description, and if you want to find out more about that, you can check on the link. Other than that, let's get on with episode 1. So, as we have established, it's now 2025, it's the 1st of January, and what is January all about? But feeling bad about all the decisions all the things we did over the festive period. We indulged, all of that. So January is the time for making resolutions, thinking of ways we can positively change our behavior so that we can have a happier life, easier life. And I have to say, I'm actually a fan of resolutions if you do it in the right way. And for me, the right way to do a resolution is to make it an achievable goal, not something where you're going to get stressed about it. But it's some, small changes that you can do where in 6 months' time, if you keep doing this small thing, you'll see real benefits. So I thought it would be fun to start this podcast series by sharing with you 6 gardening resolutions for the coming year. And I really believe if you keep these resolutions, they're not hard to keep, you'll really see benefits throughout the growing season. Your container garden will flourish, as will the plants. So let's get to it. So the first gardening resolution is, well, maybe this should be actually 0.5. The first resolution is, if you haven't started a container garden, start it this year. Make 2025 the year that you begin to grow plants. As a container gardener, I cannot tell you the joy and the peace that growing your own food at home or any kind of plant or sowing seeds and watching them grow, I can't tell you the pleasure that brings. There's so much scientific research as well out there now showing the huge benefits, physical, psychological, emotional, mental benefits of spending time around plants, having plants in your home, spending time outside if you have a garden outside, being in nature, just being in contact with plants. So if you've been wondering whether you should start a container gardening and you've been looking for a sign, this is it. You've really got nothing to lose and you've got everything to gain. A container garden doesn't also have to be big. It can be 2 or 3 pots that you have on your windowsill. If you have, a small outside space, a balcony maybe, or a small space outside your work, for example, that's enough. That is a garden. We're going to go into much more detail as the year progresses as to what a container garden is and how you can create it. But all you need to know now is everything is doable, everything is possible, and if you want to start this container garden, this is the year to do it. So the second resolution is, this is more for people who actually have their container gardens already. It's to think of ways to improve on everything that you have in your container garden already. So for example, have you got room for an extra pot this year? Or is there space on a windowsill, a Sunday windowsill, for a pot with maybe a bit of herbs in them? Or have you got some extra space somewhere that you could then extend your balcony garden into? Is there a plant that you'd like to try growing this year? Something a bit more challenging maybe, or a bit more exotic? Would you like to start growing from seed instead of buying plug plants from the garden centres or smaller plants? And are there ways where you can make your growing space or your container garden more comfortable or even attractive? Can you give it like a lick of paint? Is there a new set of tables and chairs that would really transform the space? So however you use your garden, whether it's purely for growing plants or if it's for entertaining friends and family or if it's just a quiet space for yourself, think about how you can make small tweaks that will really improve on your garden from last year and how you can transform it even further in 2025. So the third resolution is to invest in a diary or a journal. and document all your activity on the balcony or growing space. I have to say, I was pretty late to the game with this one. I think I was year 3 on the balcony before I started using a notebook. And oh my goodness, the difference. When I started documenting when I was sowing my seeds, when I needed to prick them out, what I was pruning, planting out, watering, all the things. When I was documenting things and also writing little notes to myself, okay, my peas need to be pricked out in 2 weeks, or the carrots need to be thinned out next week, whatever it is. When I started to kind of plan in this way, everything got so much easier. I think it's important to remember that the garden is supposed to be a haven to us. It's supposed to be an area of our life where it brings us peace. And what can happen often is when spring arrives, and especially if we're growing from seed, everything explodes at once. So the seedlings are growing, the weeds are growing. There's so much to do. So when we have something like a diary, it just provides structure and order and a plan. And it basically helps us look after the plants better as well. I would also recommend maybe keeping another notebook for kind of observations that you make throughout the year. So what's working really well for you? What's not working? What you could change in the year to come? Oh, I would like to actually grow this plant this next year. It doesn't have to be aesthetic, beautiful. It can just be little scribbles here and there, but just to sort of document your growing season, because that will actually help for the next growing season. But that's already thinking far too far in the future. So invest in a diary and a journal. I would really recommend that. The 4th gardening resolution is to look after your tools and keep your space clean throughout the season. I know it's dull and boring. At work, I'm a gardener as well. It's my job. That is the job I like the least, cleaning the tools. It is so boring, but it has to get done. And it also allows the tools to last longer, especially if you are really giving them a good clean. And if you've been gardening for a while now, maybe you've invested in tools that are a bit more expensive, I so recommend looking after them because you're going to save money in the long term. Also, by keeping your tools clean, you are reducing the chance of passing on pests or diseases to other plants. So, for example, say you've got your secateurs and you've been pruning a plant and you didn't know that maybe there is sort of some pest or disease on the plant, you're not noticing it yet, and then you go to prune another plant, you haven't cleaned your secateurs or disinfected them, there's a chance that you're then spreading that pest or disease to other plants. So just keeping up the hygiene, getting into the habit of keeping things clean if you can, that's going to also benefit all the plants. And when it comes to keeping your growing space in its entirety, a bit clean, you're removing places where pests and diseases can take up residence. So you're just doing yourself a favour. You're kind of stopping a problem before it's even started. So I would really recommend doing those two as well, looking after your tools and keeping your space clean. The 5th resolution is to carve out a section of your container garden to support wildlife or pollinators. I used to love doing this on the balcony. I would always make sure that I had some wildflowers growing somewhere in a pot or in a long container. And the bees loved it. The balcony would be full of bees all summer, even in the middle of Cologne, this huge big city. Birds would even come. If you've got a bit more space, you can very easily create a pond. This is going to attract lots of wildlife. You can make a homemade bird bath. They're very easy to do. And also you can make bee baths. Anything where we can do a little bit to support the nature and the wildlife that's all around us. And the last gardening resolution that I would recommend for you to do in 2025 is to actually use the plants that you grow. Now, this is a bit of a weird one. Please don't judge me. This is probably more for me than anyone else. But what I used to do in the past I would spend the whole growing season sowing all my plants from seeds, nurturing them, pricking them out, planting them, pruning them, watering, all the things. But then when it came to harvesting, I just wouldn't do it. Or there was like this weird reluctance to harvest these plants that actually needed to be harvested because they were edible. No idea why. Thankfully, I'm over that. So if you're like me, where you have this weird reluctance to harvesting your plants, or maybe it's just you don't have time, you forgot. Summer is, of course, always busier than usual. The garden can sometimes take a back seat in terms of priority. So make sure that you're harvesting your stuff. This actually leads me back to the second resolution about keeping a diary. You can even write yourself a little note. Okay, this week I need to harvest my potatoes or my peas. You can even write it in your personal diary. Yeah, in 2 weeks' time I need to harvest the tomatoes. Whatever helps you, or the basil. Whatever helps you to get the most out of your produce and to harvest them actually at the peak time where they're going to taste the most delicious as well. So those were my 6 gardening resolutions for 2025. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have some ideas now. Thank you for joining me for this episode 1. I'm still getting used to doing podcasts, still trying to find my way, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions or if there's anything you would like to hear about, please comment down below. Other than that, I wish you all the most fantastic 2025 in your personal lives and in your gardens. I'm sending you all my good wishes, and I will connect with you in the next podcast. Have a great year. Bye-bye.